Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're so thrilled to have so many of you here today. Before I welcome our President and CEO, Eric Morris, I'd like to acknowledge our guests that are here with us today. We're incredibly grateful for our partners in the DeWine administration, and while Elizabeth Goodwin could not join us here today, she sends her regards and has a proclamation for us. In the audience, I believe, is Joe Potts, Chief Government and External Affairs Officer of the Ohio Department of Children and Youth. I also want to thank Cuyahoga County State House delegation, as well as our state legislatures from outside of Cuyahoga County for your support and for supporting us in Columbus. We're joined today by Senator Kent Smith. Sorry, give me a second. Thank you to our members. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. Here we go. Sorry. Representative Tristan Rader, Representative Sean Brenner, Representative Bride Rose Sweeney, Representative Juanita Brent, Representative Daryl Brewer, and Representative Nick Santucci. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you to the members of Cuyahoga County Council who have joined us here today. With us in person, we have Councilman Dale Miller, Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, Councilwoman Meredith Turner, and while Councilman Martin Sweeney could not be here, we want to ensure that we acknowledge that the H.O.P.E campus is in his district, and we want to thank Councilman Sweeney for allocating a portion of your district's ARPA dollars to this project. I also want to acknowledge County Executive Chris Ronayne. Please stand and be recognized. I promise I'm almost done. We're also joined here by the city leadership, so City of Cleveland leaders, including City Councilman Danny Kelly. The H.O.P.E campus is in this district. Thank you for your support. And I believe in the audience is also the city director, Cleveland City Director of Public Health, David Margolius. If I missed any elected officials, please stand, and we would like to acknowledge you as well. All right, thank you. Next, I want to acknowledge our County Executive Office, Chris Ronayne, as well as our Division of Children and Family Services, Jackie Fletcher and David Merriman. We also want to acknowledge our Adams Board partners, Scott Osecki and Bob Fowler, as well as Board of Development and Disabilities, Amber Gibbs, and Juvenile Justice Judge Thomas O'Malley. If you're in the audience, please stand and be recognized for your leadership and collaboration. With us today are also members of the Center's Board of Directors. Please stand and be recognized for your vision, your bravery, your leadership to tackle one of community's toughest challenges with your foresight and persistence. Thank you. While we are here to break ground on the third and final phase of the capital project, I want to take a moment and acknowledge the donors who have so generously funded the home over the years, including the first 2 phases of the renovations in this campus. We look forward to celebrating all of you during our ribbon cutting in the next year. And as I stand here today, we have raised nearly $14 million for this phase and have a little over $500,000 to go. Many, many thanks to many of you in the audience for your incredible generosity. We will continue to celebrate and thank you over the next year as we wrap up the capital campaign and the campus construction. So thank you very much. I want to introduce our president and CEO of the centers, Eric Morris.
Thank you, Stacy. Wonderful job. Let's, contrary to popular belief, these events don't just take care of themselves. Is the joke around the office. So I really want to thank Stacy, her team, and Beth Wood for putting together this wonderful event. They've been working on it for months now, but thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us at this groundbreaking. We're going to be ruining the linoleum here in a little bit because the weather really didn't cooperate with us, which is rare in Cleveland. So today we're gathered to break ground at the H.O.P.E campus. HOPE stands for healing, opportunities, partnership, and empowerment. And it's more than just a name. It's a powerful symbol of what the campus strives to instill in every child and family it will touch. HOPE embodies the aspirations of healing, overcoming adversity, and building a brighter future for youth who have experienced trauma and displacement. HOPE is often the critical first step toward recovery and resilience. A campus named HOPE communicates an unwavering commitment to providing an environment where young people can begin to rebuild their lives with the confidence that they're not alone in their journey. There's a proverb we're all probably really familiar with, that it takes a village to raise a child. The number of people in this room demonstrates the village that it has taken to get to this point. When we come together, elected officials, community partners, leaders, funders, and service providers, we can create solutions to solve the biggest challenges facing our community. None of this would be possible without all of you. The HOPE campus is a testament to pulling the right people into the room to create solutions and a better life for the youth of Cuyahoga County. The HOPE campus was one of the largest recipients of state dollars in the bipartisan capital budget legislation for fiscal year 25-26. I want to acknowledge Governor Mike DeWine and his administration for their partnership, as well as our legislative champions for their leadership and stewardship to make this happen through the last 2 state capital budget cycles. Your long-standing support of the centers and Cleveland Christian Home were integral in securing a total of $2.5 million in state capital for the HOPE campus. Please welcome State Representative Bride Rose Sweeney, who's been a great and consistent partner of ours over the years and a champion of this project.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to echo the sentiments of what the CEO of the centers, Eric, said. Every time that we're at a groundbreaking or an exciting day like this, I'm always reminded that these are not inevitable. This day was not inevitable. We don't just solve problems because they just magically appear. It wouldn't have happened without the leadership of the county saying that we are no longer going to accept that any child doesn't have a place to go, or that they have to go sleep in an office building. We said that is not going to happen. That's not easy to solve. And to the centers for standing up and saying that we're going to tackle a very difficult issue. As the ranking member of the Finance Committee, I can tell you it is not easy to get state dollars. The first thing you have to do is to have support from all of your delegation. But when you are looking, I think last budget cycle in just the House alone, we had $1 billion worth of requests just in Cuyahoga County. I think the overall pot of money was about $120. The reason we were able to get these dollars to this project was slightly because you had great support from your colleagues, but it was because the county was saying, this is where we want to put our priorities. If you have money to give, this is the problem we want you to solve. And that we had an organization like the centers that actually is changing lives every day is why the state said we are comfortable out of all the needs to happen. So we love to pat our backs and say how good the politicians did, but the money doesn't mean anything if you don't have people on the ground who are willing to actually solve these problems. And we are working with our state partners, because this is not a problem just to Cuyahoga County, that others are trying to match exactly what we're doing here to be a model so that no children across the state of Ohio doesn't have a place or an actual bed to sleep in. And so we are so excited. I have hope, not just for these kids, but that we're going to continue to work together to tackle these issues, because it's what the people deserve and no more than the children that we all represent. So thank you and congratulations.
Senator Patton didn't make it, is that correct? Okay. Senatorial, we have a senatorial citation from Senate Minority Leader Nikki Antonio, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. So please welcome Ohio Senator Minority Whip Kent Smith.
Sorry. Welcome, everyone. I have a senatorial citation also, have one from my office that I will hand deliver at this point. There you go. You're welcome. And I believe Representative Rader has one from the Ohio House coming up after me. So I want to lead off with a quote from Coretta Scott King, who said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." And I mean, I think that really does a good job of summarizing why all of us are here and why this effort is so important. Poverty and gun violence are a failure of creative policy choices and budgetary dedication. And unfortunately, that leads to childhood trauma. And what you will often have at that point as is young members of this community who have survived but have not recovered. And the very important point that this facility will try to address is moving those future assets from survivors to people who have recovered. And if we do not intercede in their lives now through programs like this, then they will never recover. And unfortunately, that the negative ripple effects of not recovering will impact our community in a much greater way than what this investment would ever cost us. So I salute the centers. I applaud the bipartisan work that got us here, and very much look forward to helping to move people who've survived to those who have recovered. Thank you very much. I think I walked off with someone else's speech.
All right, well, you spoiled it, but Representative Tristan Rader, please come up.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I do have a resolution here from the whole delegation, Cuyahoga County. So thank you to all my other representatives who also support this incredibly valuable work that you've all done. And I really just have to say thank you. Thank you for putting the time, the effort, the energy to every donor who made this possible. I'm just a few months in the legislature. Many others have put so much work and so much time into making sure that this came to reality. And I was just perusing the news this morning and looking at some articles about our foster care system, and I realized there's 2,200 children in the foster care system currently, and it just really speaks to the need and how we're addressing that need and filling this incredibly important gap that we have here on the west side, but all over Cuyahoga County. So thank you, and thank you for this invaluable work that you've done. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Additionally, I want to express our gratitude to Scott Osecki and the Cuyahoga County Adams Board. Scott was not able to be here, but we thank them not only for their ongoing support of the H.O.P.E campus, but for their dedication to enhance the quality of life for Cuyahoga County residents through the commitment to excellence in mental health and addiction prevention treatment and recovery services. Finally, we're grateful to Cuyahoga County Council members who all took the time to visit this campus and understand the complex needs and challenges our children and families face. Your support and advocacy helped us reach this pivotal moment. I'd like to now invite our county executive, Chris Ronayne, to the podium. Thank you for demonstrating an unwavering commitment to the children and families of Cuyahoga County, serving as our visionary, our convener, and one of our most impactful fundraisers. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, Cleveland. It's nice to see you out here today. Clouds are out, but the silver lining is in this building, and we are grateful to the senators to be here today. And I want to just go back a little in history, but I do need to say, yes, we fundraise, but it takes many hands, and many of our donors are out here today. On the public side, our state legislature, thank you. To the governor's office, thank you. But to the many foundations in this community that help hold up this community when it needs them most, thank you. And to individual donors who are out here today, it's always a joy to talk to you when we're talking about kids, because people do come together for our kids. And so I want to thank those that have given. I'm going to make a few specific references to that, but I do want to say it's good to be in the neighborhood. I live just a few blocks from here, and over the years here at what's been known as Cleveland Christian Home, they really welcome the community in. We've been in block club meetings, ward club meetings, and everything else in this building. But you go back in history, so thank you, Danye, and your team for just welcoming the community always in the building. You go back in history, and this place really matters. Early on, today's use harkens back to yesterday's use. There was a pastor, Henry Tomei, who at the turn of the 20th century opened his door to a family of children who'd been dropped off at his door. And he lived in this neighborhood. He, with a group of community investors back when, bought the Bosworth Farms. Bosworth is the adjacent street here. And ultimately, this home was built as a home for children, originally as a place for to house our kids that had no homes or were temporarily out of homes. And as we knew it then, as an orphanage. But Reverend Tomei really resonates with us today. And sadly, history rhymes, right? We see ourselves still facing the issues of kids in trauma, kids who are temporarily out of their homes and need us. But we also salute this community for stepping up over a century for our kids that need us most. And Cuyahoga County certainly salutes all of you. So over those years, Reverend Tomei and the team, they made this a home for, I think, some 60 kids on any given day. And it's interesting that today we've got about 58 units in the build out of this building next door for our kids. But we care as a community. We continue to care a century later about those who need us most. And interwoven in the story, this is Child Abuse Prevention Month nationally. And of course, we honor that here in Cuyahoga County. And a sad fact is that 20,000 calls come in to our departments on any given year of kids who've been harmed. And that may not be every kid in this building, but kids that are in this building have gone through emotional harm, trauma, obviously, when they're disconnected from family and communities that they come from. So we keep thinking about that we need to lean in on those societal forces that cause for that harm, but we also simultaneously need to care. And this community cares, and our partnership here is just that. It's a network of care. I want to say to the centers, Eric, to you and your team, thank you for the extraordinary partnership. I'm going to tell you a little story about the evolution of this that Representative Brodrose Sweeney kind of referenced, but it's also many partners that are out in the crowd today that represent a community of caregivers for kids. And you're all out there and you know who you are. And let's give them and their staffs a quick round of applause, please. You're the angels on the front line, and we thank you. And I also want to say to our Department of Children and Family Services, to David Merriman, to Jackie Fletcher, to Chris Murray, to the entire team that represents our Department of Children and Family Services. You're the glue that holds this community together, and you work in the network of partners to keep our community together. And I'd ask you to give them a round of applause at the front office of HHS. Many of our caseworkers are out here today, and those who, again, become family in lieu of family, or as a temporary family to families that need our help. We're all one family, and I'm just going to harken back to the more recent history, 100 years hence. But many of you've read, seen, heard, thank you to our media partners who have here that have reported on it, but kids have been, in lieu of a guardian, dropped off at a government building at the Department of Health and Human Services in Cuyahoga County. That's the Jane Edna Hunter building and other buildings, but mostly the Jane Edna Hunter building as you know it. It was reported on, and our administration, coming in 2.5 years ago, my first month, and I said it in this room when we were fundraising for this project, last time I was in this room, but my first month on the job was shocking to get a call from David on a Friday night, our Director of Health and Human Services, and say that a young woman was dropped off in an ambulance to our building at Jane Edna Hunter, that Medicaid had run out and that she had no resources for the health care that she needed. And she came to our building. She slept in our building. Our staff found her meals over the weekend, and they nurtured her as if she is their family. And the good news story about that young lady was she went on, as David's told the story many times, to her senior prom, and she went on to graduate. But that was a continuum of care that started at a county building and worked out to a network of partners like this. 2 weeks after that, I got a call. It seemed to be the Fridays I was getting the calls from our team at DCFS about a child who had been dropped off from a school bus because the school bus driver could find no guardian, no parent in the neighborhood at his stop on the school bus. This was a 6-year-old child. Again, stayed with us in the building overnight with, thank you, our staff who hadn't expected to necessarily be the caregiver that evening, off hours, and stayed with him. But we decided there must be a better way. There must be a better way than to see a 14-year-old and a 6-year-old dropped off at a building and just kind of hanging through it over the weekend with our staff. There must be a better way. So our team at the county put out a request for proposals, and specifically we were looking for a partner who would ultimately have what we call a no reject, no eject proposal, because as kids come in traumatized, obviously they're emotionally imbalanced and acting out, right? But we need to hold those kids together with our care and our attention and our services. So we found the centers in that RFP process, and the centers found the Cleveland Christian Home here. And together, they bound together to build the H.O.P.E campus. And then we went out to fundraise. And I do want to once again thank the state delegation. I think I called you, Bride Rose Sweeney, to help get things started. But every one of you in the Northeast Ohio delegation at the State House helped lean in on the governor and helped find a path to get us that first slug of funds to get this started. And then we called Medical Mutual. I know they're out here, and I'm sorry to name a few names. Oh, Christine's going to speak. But Christine, you picked up the phone, you and Andrea, and you gave us a significant head start with the state. That got us going. We called our local foundations, again, so many of you out here, and we called individuals. And I heard from Eric just a minute ago that we've shortened the gap even further. But families stepped up. The first family I called, David Corey and Shelley Corey, said yes and kept going. Manbir Sanu just said, what can I do? And we said, we have a place. So I just want to say, and this list is not an exhaustive list because monies have come in beyond this recently, but the Abington Foundation, the Bruning Foundation, the Cleveland Foundation, Dan Clark and Reverend Janet Long, David and Shelley Curry, James Crozier Living Trust, Cuyahoga County Board of DD, our own public sector partner, Robert and Mia Faxon, the George Gunn Foundation, Beth Clues, Rob and Laura Kokis, Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel Foundation, Steve McHale, Medical Mutual, Mount Sinai Health Foundation, Richard Norton, Ohio Capital Budget Community Project Appropriation, OMAS, Youth Resiliency Fund Award, Farrah and Stephen Walters, David and Norma Waterman, Woodruff Foundation, and more. Can we give them a round of applause, all of our funders? Thank you. And for those who've recently come in, we're going to acknowledge you at the ribbon cutting. I want to say as the build out happens, and I'm going to step away, but I wanted to say, this place is active now. Kids are in this building. You see we're in a gymnasium. They actually learn in school with a partnership from the CMSD. the Cleveland Metropolitan School District is in teaching. Councilman Danny Kelly, I want to thank you. He's a former employee at the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and of the building trades, but he cares a lot. And as a councilman locally, he said, what can I do? I said, Danny, just help us get this started. Council people have to go through zoning. They have to go through permitting. And Danny's been a warrior for us. So thank you, Councilman Kelly, and also County Councilman Sweeney, because we're in his district and we appreciate the support from both of them. Let's give them a round of applause. So here kids recreate, here kids learn, and next door, kids have the dignity of a space that is not a floor at the county office with a cot. They have a room, they have a bed, they have a health specialist, they have a mental health specialist. I thank the Maroos team for the time and attention, Chip Maroos, you and your team, that you're taking to renovate a building that matters and should see its second century ahead. Thank you for how you're doing the work that cares. But I want to say, the kids have as close to a family as they could possibly have in their own home when they live here, with the dignity of space, with a bed, with a room, with specialists who care, with a teacher, and with kids that they can recreate in the building and live as normal a life as they can as they return through our partners to communities, to families who care on the other side. We're all one family. Thank you for what you've done to make this dream a reality. And the last thing I want to say, and the state legislators know this has become a state model that was referenced by the governor and the legislature through the budget process, that this will multiply in other places in Ohio. But Cuyahoga County leads the way as a leading model for the future. Thank you.
Papers, right? All right, I think actually we're going to have Chris, Dale, Yvonne come up and get a picture with the proclamation. And then I think Dale has some words, and so does Councilman Conwell.
Let's call Meredith.
And Meredith, sure. My Leadership Cleveland. Is she here? Meredith Turner?
She's with us this week.
Yes, she is. Great.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here today as we break ground on a project that will transform the way we care for the most vulnerable members of our community, our children. The H.O.P.E campus is a bold, forward-looking and forward-thinking solution to the child placement crisis that exists not only here in Cuyahoga County, but across the country. For too long, children in our care have faced unnecessary delays in finding stable housing. Together, we are responding to one of Cuyahoga County's most urgent and pressing problems. We know that when young people are placed quickly in the right environment, whether it be through reunification, kinship care, or another safe and supportive setting, their chances of success dramatically improve. By bringing together the county, our Division of Children and Family Services, child-serving nonprofits, and critical resources under one roof, we are ensuring that these young people receive the care, assessment, and treatment they need without delay. This groundbreaking would not be possible without the leadership of County Executive Chris Romaine, who has made children and families a priority for his administration. Thank you, Chris, for your vision and commitment. I also want to extend my deep appreciation to the dedicated team at DCFS, led by Jackie Fletcher, who works tirelessly to protect and support our youth every day. And thank you very much to Ranking Member Rose Sweeney and all of the state legislators for your instrumental role in obtaining state funding for this project. And to the centers and President and CEO Eric Morris, thank you for your invaluable partnership in bringing this vision to life. Together, we are going to make a profound and lasting positive impact on our community. Now, I have the privilege of introducing someone who has long been a champion for our children and families. County Council Vice President Yvonne Conwell, thank you for your dedication to ensuring that every child has a safe, supportive place to call home. Thank you, and please join me in welcoming Council Vice President Yvonne Conwell.
Good morning. It is bright in here, and not just because of what we're doing, but because of the lights. That's why everybody is struggling to read a little bit because the lights are kind of bright. But okay, let me stand. Oh, it is bad. It is really bad. Okay. So thank you, Council President Miller, for your kind words and your dedication and your continued leadership on behalf of Cuyahoga County. As chair of Council's Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee, along with my colleague Martin J. Sweeney, who is the district representative as well as my vice chair, we've both had a front row seat to many challenges facing the Division of Children and Family Services, especially when it comes to the child placement crisis. This crisis affects children, families, and the trajectory of each of their lives. For quite some time, our DCFS team has been operating under tremendous pressure, finding safe, supportive placements for youth, particularly our teens, has been increasingly difficult year after year. And I'm just so thankful for today. But one thing that has remained consistent throughout it is the heart, the resilience, and the dedication of the professionals, of each of the professionals at DCFS. I think we just saluted them not too long ago. Those are, those are the individuals behind the scenes and are at the office right now placing kids. So we must never, ever forget them. David Merriman, who is the leader of hearing all these meetings and in these meetings with us. Thank you, David, for all that you do and for picking Jackie. I'm always very happy that because he picked Jackie. You got to have somebody very smart to know who is that one that is dedicated and wants to get up every day, put everything aside and get in there, stay late at night when many of us are at home for those kids that need to be placed. So I want to give special thanks to our director, Jackie Fletcher. She has never hesitated to keep me informed or Martin informed or Councilman Miller, both about the struggles and the strides we've all made today as we get to stand together and call this one of our collective successes. The Hope Campus is a promise that no child in our care will fall through the cracks, a promise that we will meet our youth with dignity, kindness, wraparound support, and urgency. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for your team. I promise that we are working smarter and we are working together. The fact that this campus is being developed in partnership with the centers speaks volumes, and you're going to hear that constantly throughout. Their expertise, compassion, and commitment to behavioral health and family support services are a perfect match for the goals of this initiative. Our partnership with them can create a model that could be replicated across the country and even the state, and hopefully that will happen. This is the power of collaboration in this room today. This is what we truly put children first. So I'm honored to stand here today as someone who deeply believes in the future of our youth. Thank you. I have fought, but it's not just me. Can't take the credit alone. Each and every one of us in this room has done something and played a small part to make the children's future bright as it is in this room. Thanks to everyone again. Thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I'd be lost. All right. Well, thank you, Councilwoman Conwell. Thank you, Council President Miller. Now I would like to welcome Jackie Fletcher. Before I hand this off, I have to say, listen, I've been in this county a long time. I've worked in social services a long time, and I've seen a lot of DCF directors come and go. But this woman, oh my God, she's amazing. Amazing.
Make me cry in here. I'm serious. I am truly humbled in this space today. Thank you so much, County Executive Ronaine. Thank you for the support, Councilman Miller, Councilwoman Conwell. I am truly humbled today. To Eric and the entire Center's team, you guys just, again, warm my heart. When I first took over as the DCFS director, our children, our community, all of our child welfare agencies across the nation, as many of us have spoke about, were facing a critical crisis. We were coming out of a pandemic. Some of our young people were truly, truly struggling with a myriad of issues. Well-meaning parents were at their wits' end and out of options. And there were just not enough resources for any of our kids, as truly those kids that were experiencing some of the most challenges and needed our help. Our staff, and many are here today, were stretched thin. And we were seeing the same scenario, again, playing out across so many communities across the country, where kids didn't have a safe space to live and to be treated with dignity. And so we put out the call to action to all of our service providers and others for help. Several of our providers stepped in to help support the needs. Some of them are here today, and I just want to shout out our DCFS advisory board members, Canopy, Frontline, Belfair, and Applewood, so many others. We thank you for answering that call. And the centers, again, however, offered a different approach. They offered to stand up a campus with a spectrum of much needed placement and front end treatment options for our kids. We started with just a few beds and some of our youth who were facing the most difficult challenges. And I will tell you, it's been hard work every step of the way. Today, we are here to take that next step in building out this campus, kicking off a project to build more than just walls and beds. I said that from the beginning. It's more than just walls and beds, but treatment and hope for families across our country, our county. The centers will assist in creating a new front door for DCFS and so many of our youth and families to have a safe, secure option to be assessed, to get services, to be reunited, and if needed, to receive that treatment. Ultimately, we want to know that when a family is in crisis, we have the resources needed to help our young people get back on track and return to their families and to our communities with resilience and ready to thrive. So I am, again, humbled to be in this space with so many of our partners and friends. This community is stepping up in ways many of us, we're just so thankful. And again, I am so humbled to be here. And with that, I would love to welcome Danya Underwood. She's the executive director for the H.O.P.E campus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. It's truly an honor to stand before you today as we break ground on what will soon become a vital sanctuary for youth and families in crisis. Today is not just about shovels and soil. It's about planting the seeds of health, of healing, opportunities, partnership, and empowerment, and the very foundation of what H.O.P.E stands for. The H.O.P.E campus is the next chapter in the powerful legacy of the Cleveland Christian Home. With this capital renovation project, we are reimagining how we serve youth in crisis, not just with services, but with a vision rooted in dignity and possibility. H.O.P.E is not just our name, It's our North Star. It's a call to action to transform child welfare into a system that does not simply intervene, it uplifts. A system where youth are not just placed, they are prioritized. This campus is more than a collection of buildings. It is a 24/7 commitment, a place where healing begins the moment a child or family arrives, whether that's through our front doors with our first responders, brought in by a parent, or they simply walk in alone in crisis. The Hope Campus offers a full spectrum of care, rapid assessment, emergency treatment, trauma responsive behavioral health, education, and wraparound support, all in one unified and compassionate environment. But let me be clear. This campus is not about creating another place for youth to stay. This place is for them to begin again. This moment is the result, as everyone has said today, of deep collaboration and partnership. And so many of you that I see today, it would be, I could not have a mutually exhaustive list, but a few of the folks that I definitely want to acknowledge first, of course, the Cuyahoga County Department of Children and Family Services, the Office of the Executive, the Board of Developmental Disabilities, Juvenile Justice, the Adams Board, and so many more community partners, leaders, the legislature, and staff that I see here today. It truly warms my heart. Together, we are not just transforming a space, we are transforming how our system responds to youth in crisis. At the heart of this work is one powerful belief. Every child deserves a soft place to land and a strong start to forward, right? A strong start forward. And that belief is made real by what we're building here today together. To the partners who dreamed this with us, I say thank you. To the staff who will continue to bring this space to life every single day, I say thank you. And to the youth and families whose resilience and courage inspires us, I say thank you. And this campus is for you. Let this groundbreaking stand as a bold promise that no child
Thank you, Danya. You know, this, whether you believe in God, fate, whatever kind of keeps you going in life, I think this experience over these last couple of years is a collection of random occurrences that helped us go further. Whether it was the chief development officer of the Cleveland Christian Home applying for a job with the centers that tipped me off that this was an opportunity, when we had already sent in an application with nowhere to actually put this project. But I think of this because as Danya was speaking, Danya and I met in the FQHC world really randomly, just happened to sit next to each other at a meeting and just hit it off. And as this project went forward, we were in DC at a conference, and I just randomly asked her, because I had no idea, like her whole history. And I said, "Do you ever do child welfare?" He was like, "Yeah, that's all I do. Like this is the only time I've not done that." I said, "Well, I have a job for you." And she's just been amazing. Moving up here to Cleveland. To offer her remarks.
Thank you, Eric. At Medical Mutual, we are committed to playing our role in improving the health and well-being of the entire community, but that especially holds true. And this shows up in a lot of different ways, in the quality of service that we offer our members, in the community initiatives that we choose to support, and in the many different ways that our team members choose to give back. We're big advocates of the work that our sessions to learn more about becoming mentors to assist children as they prepare to age out of care. We have collected suitcases. We've collected hair care products. Every year, we cannot wait to participate in the Hope for Holidays annual gift drive. So for us as an organization, it just made natural sense to step up as a leader in supporting the creation of the Hope campus. And it is so meaningful, it's powerful to know that this project will help to ensure that the children who desperately need it the most have a safe and healing space to be in. So we are proud, but I really want to say that we're grateful actually to just play a small part in the amazing work that's about to happen here. So on behalf of our whole leadership team, all 3,000 of our employees, I want to say thank you to our friends at the centers. Thank you to our friends at the county for making this space a reality.
This concludes the speaking part of our program. And now for the fun part, we're going to ask everybody here to stay for just 1 second. We're going to transform this space into a groundbreaking. Unfortunately, due to the weather, we couldn't do that outside. So if you don't mind, we're going to do 4 lead pictures. Our elected officials will be asked to come and join this group first. Then we're going to do our county administration and county leadership, funders, and our board and executive staff. So if you don't mind, if you guys can get a stand up, we're going to move the seats and my team is going to come and help us facilitate